Okay, welcome to your practice. Please find a comfortable posture. We'll do a little bit of seated breathing to start. And we'll go from there. Chairs in the shop. Um, Cross-legged. Take a moment to elongate your spine. Lift up. Kind of wrap the muscles into the back of your spine. Nice long posture. As you wrap the muscles into the side back of your spine, breathe into the ribs so that they kind of open outward, wide, with the inhalation. This sort of tone in your back body to help you stay upright. This should help you elongate the front of your body. As you start to breathe and become aware of the breathing, notice that you're building stature, building posture, just through this inner awareness of your spine. Then turn and look over one shoulder. Keep your spine long. Keep it uplifted. And turn and look over the other shoulder. Keep your spine long. We're at the center. If you have your blocks, you put them out in front. If you can easily touch the floor without losing your inner posture, you can do that too. Put the hands out in front and just gently push down. So when you push down, you feel your shoulder blades move down the back and your spine feels like it's rising. A little bit of inner lift here. Breathe again. Concentrate on just molding the back muscle to feel strong and stable. Good. Just counter that gently. Rest your hands on your knees, drop your chin, and then sink the ribs straight back. Inhale, rock forward again. Put the hands out in front and push down with them to help move the shoulder blades, articulate the shoulder blades down the spine and in. And mold the back muscle in and up from the base of the hip all the way in and up. Feeling the muscles toning on the back. These are big muscles. They can tone and stay toned. They'll release tension when they're toned properly. When they're untoned, when they're long, they'll actually sort of get hard. They get tense. They build tension because of poor posture. Try to really work on space, stability, and tone through the core and the back. And reverse it again. Sit back, let the chin drop a little bit, sink the ribs back. Then just come back to upright. Take your left wrist, push it against your right knee and twist, keeping a long spine. reverse. Right wrist pushes against the left knee, twist. And come back. Let's go now down to our back. So lying on our backs with our feet flat on the floor. You're gonna take your elbows next to your ribs. Sometimes we call this like T-Rex arms or jetpack arms, like you're driving a jetpack. So your hands are directly above your elbows. Your forearms stick straight up in the air. And now focus on pushing down with your shoulders and your elbows into the floor. Shoulders and elbows into the floor. And if this is too uncomfortable on your neck, you can go do this at the wall and have your head rest against the wall as well, as opposed to supporting the head. Everyone, though, is trying to push the elbows and the shoulders down into the earth. And notice how it tones your back muscles. You may feel your chest and your ribs bolster towards the sky. Use this. Keep a steady downward pressure and breathe. Opening across the chest. Breathe. Open across the chest. And then relax the effort. Once again, turn the head and look over one shoulder. Turn the head and look over the other shoulder. Come back to neutral and press down with your elbows and shoulders. If you can, this time just let your fingertips touch the front of your shoulder, so you no longer have the T-Rex arms. You still have the elbows and shoulders pressing down, and the fingertips are on the shoulder. Keep the downward pressure in the upper arm, and extend the elbows so your hands like a rainbow shape all the way down to the floor by your hips. Good. Keep pressing the arms down to the floor. If you'd like, press down with your legs and lift your hips up, bridge pose. Keeping the upper arm downward pressure. Breathe here. Exhale, lower down. Bring the left knee into the body, hold above it or under it, and pull it in. Change legs. Release the legs. Interlocking the fingers, place them behind the head. And let the knees fall open. Press down with your shoulders and elbows in this shape. Feel how it engages the shoulder blades, kind of moves them towards each other. And then open your throat a little bit. Breathe and squeeze in on the back muscles. Keep the upper body just like it is. Keep pressing head, elbows, and shoulders into the mat. Lift your knees back up and then reach your left toes into the sky. Change your legs. Reach the right toes into the sky. Change your legs. Change your legs. And relax. Bring the left knee up into your right hand and pull it across your body into a twist, dropping the knees over in that direction. So to your right, you're twisting. Try to let your belly be open, a little bit of a curve in your low back, keeping a long spine, broad collarbones. Roll back to center, pull the right knee in, and then across. Inhale back to center. You can keep your feet on the floor, kind of just float them, and then look up at your knees, curling your upper back muscles. Reach the legs out a little bit, up on a diagonal, and try to pull using your core up into a boat pose. Good, not using your hands if you can. Cross your ankles and rock over your shins and knees and step back to tabletop pose. Push down with your hands and open the front of your body. Tuck your toes. Really get on the pads of your toes. So you're almost stretching the sole of the foot by how much you've tucked your toes. So not the toenails are down, yeah, exactly, the pads of the toes. And start to shift your hips back as you look up with your gaze. Breathe. Good. Walk the knees back a little bit further and do the same thing. Push your hips back with your toes tucked. You're stretching the foot, kind of loading the hip muscles. Good. Inhale, come forward. Bring your shoulders all the way over your hands. Your hips will come a little forward of the knees. A little bit of core work. Push down with your hands and breathe. And shift it all the way back again. Toes tucked. Pushing back through the hips. Inhale, come all the way forward. This time you can hang the hips as low as you'd like. It might look like a straight arm cobra pose. Yep, so you have a long distance between your hands and knees. Push down with your hands. Push down with your shoulders. And then exhale, lower your body into the mat. Inhale, curl up. Squeeze and wrap the muscles into the back of your spine. And look over your right shoulder. Lower down. Squeeze and wrap the muscles into your spine. Rise up and look over your left shoulder. And lower down. Inhale, curl up and push all the way back. Walk your hands back to kneeling and rise up. Inhale, take your arms up overhead. Press out through your palms like you're trying to touch the ceiling with your palms. Really work on extending through your elbows so there's no bend in your arm. Good. Exhale, bring that energy down. Slide it down the legs. Your hands can touch the floor if you want your forehead to kiss the mat. And then inhale, roll up, rise up. Stretch, pull your elbows in, and then extend them straight up like you're trying to push on the ceiling. Reaching out through your elbows. Exhale, hands go down the legs. You can rest them on the floor. You can rest the forehead on the floor as low as it feels right to your body. Inhale, rise up. Last one. Press up and out through your elbows and hands. And now slowly start to bring your thumbs closer and closer together without bending your elbows. Working the tendon, the tight tendons that are built up through the elbow and shoulder area. Good. Release the arms down by your sides. Wrap the palms outward so the front of your shoulder rolls open. Wrap the palms outward and feel those muscles tone into the back again, like you've been working. Back muscles move into the spine. Good. Pull back with your fingertips, your chest broadens. Take your right hand, with or without a block, reach it out on the diagonal off your mat. Shift into your right knee and step your left leg off your mat. And then bend through that front knee. Good. Breathe here. And then relax it. Or kind of just like back out of the pose. And then go into it again. Move the leg a little bit and bend again. And then relax it. Move the leg again a little bit more towards the middle of the mat. Then one more time. And then relax. And then come back to kneeling posture. Wrap the shoulders. Feel the whole side back muscles move into the spine. And then you'll, with or without a block, drop your left hand off the left edge. And step the right foot off to the right. Bend. And back out of the pose, hopping the foot closer to the mat. Bend. And then come out, wrapping, step the foot to the middle of the mat, bend. And then come out of the pose, let's come back to kneeling posture. Good. Hook your thumbs in front of your body and reach up high to the sky. Pull the pinky edge of the hand back, so the thumbs are in the front. Pinky edge of the hand is back. Open the chest, open the side ribs, breathe into the side ribs, elongating them. Good. Roll on down, place the hands in front. You can keep the fingers together today, squeezing against each other as you press down through your whole hand. Rock forward. Knees are down and hips are just kind of hanging there. With straight arms, push into the mat and wrap the front of your shoulder out and down. As you wrap the front of your shoulder out and down, rise up through the chest and crown. Good. Bend your elbows, lower down nice and slow, getting your body out in front of your hands as far as you can. Inhale, curl up with your upper back. Inhale, again, lift up through the back of the legs. And lower down. Pull the hands back under your shoulders as far as they'll go, maybe behind your shoulder even. Inhale, curl up, toning the back muscles. Lifting the back legs, back of the legs. And then relax down. Push yourself all the way back. Downward facing dog. Flex the hands so the fingertips kind of peel off the mat. And then pressing down through the heel of your hand, recommit the whole hand to the mat. Fingers can be very close together today. Breathe long. Push the left knee straight forward towards the center of your hands. So the left foot goes off to the right side. So it's like a triangle between your two hands and your left knee. You can walk the back knee back any amount and just sink down into your hips. Breathe.
push down with your hands first. Push down in such a way that you feel your low belly muscles lift. Once your low belly muscles have lifted, then step back, downward dog. We're just going to transition here. Billy, you don't have to go to the wall. We're just transitioning. And bring the right knee forward. Good. Same idea. Push down. You want to feel a stretch under the side of your right hip and right under the sit bone, kind of stretching through that glute. Press down with the hands. Good. Now really engage. Wrap the front of the shoulder around. Push down in such a way that it lifts the low belly muscles. Once the low belly muscles are lifted, step back, downward dog. Come down to kneeling and rest in a child's pose. And keep your toes tucked today, a little more active in the sole of the foot. In this version, put your hands still in front of you. If you can, re-put your hands out in front and push down. Lift your chest off the ground so your back muscles, they're not rounded. They're actually still toning. You're kind of floating your chest above the mat. Good. From here, turn your palms to face up. So your elbows are down on the mat. And bring your shoulders forward over your elbows. As you bring the shoulders over the elbows, walk the knees back. Keep your toes tucked today. You can stay here. If you like a little more active, you will straighten the legs, knees off the ground. Breathing. Palms face up. Try to stay relaxed. Good. And drop the hips into the mat. Relax down. Good. Point the toes. Counter all that tucking you've been doing with your toes. Sphinx posture. Breathe. Open the chest. Open the side bones. Feel how this is all this back muscle toning. When you do it evenly, safely, not overworking, you shouldn't get tired. You shouldn't feel like it's actually be improving your posture and giving you energy, improving the circulation around the spine. Press up and back, downward facing dog. We'll be here for a few breaths. Work those hands again, friends. Pushing with the heel of the hand first, fingers close together today, all the way to the fingertips. Now listen carefully. You're going to pull your shoulder blades down your spine, away from your ears. It's a very subtle movement. As you pull your shoulder blades down your spine, away from your ears, reach out with your nose, like you were a dog sniffing. Got a scent. Picked up a scent. Good. Take one step forward with your left leg and just feel that part of the stretch, how it's different. Take one step forward with your right foot. See how it's changed the stretch. Take another step forward with your right foot. Another step forward with your left foot. And then walk it in any further until your feet are even. Shift the weight into your feet. Inhale, come all the way up. Reaching up to the sky. Elongate your elbow. Pushing out through the inner eye of the elbow. Good. Open your arms out wider. Turn the palms up. Pull the thumbs back. So you're opening this line of energy across your chest. As you open a line of energy across your chest, you should be able to extend the line of energy up the front of your spine. Feel that action happen. Really good, everyone. Big, bright front body. Good. Let's do a swimmer's dive or a butterfly stroke. Dive down with the fingertips to the floor. Curl the spine. You can tuck your chin if you'd like. Inhale, stretch forward. Curl the chin. And then rise all the way back up, stretching up through your arms. This time make your palms face each other like field goal post or the number 11. Extend through your elbows. And slowly start to separate the hands into a V, palms face up. As the palms face up, pull them back behind you. Open across your chest this way. As you open across your chest, lengthen the front. Use that space that you've made to open your back body muscles. Really good. And then reverse it. Butterfly stroke. Dive down. Good. Hands on blocks on the front of your mat or hands on the mat. Push the left foot forward and step the right foot back. Try to get your legs as much in a straight line, like you're standing in the very center seam of your yoga mat with both feet, like you're on a tightrope with both feet. Good. So you're on only the balls of the back foot, back that's in like a lunge. Front knee is bent over the heel. Good. Push down with your hands and reach out with the crown. Breathe here. Good. Move, if you can, for balance. You're going to move the right hand in as much as you can, so maybe that's on the tightrope as well. And then lift the left arm to the sky. Be mindful of your balance. I'd rather you keep balance and twist than over be too narrow. Good. Back down. Push back to a down dog briefly. Plank pose briefly. Up dog briefly. And then go ahead and step to the front of the mat. Inhale, come all the way up. Elongate through your elbows. Open the arms out. Butterfly stroke. Down into forward bend. Inhale, elongate forward. And this time you'll step your left foot back and you'll get both feet in the mid-seam of your yoga mat. Or as close to it as you can do reasonably. We don't want to hurt ourselves. Feet, toes are pointing straight ahead in both feet. Back leg looks like a lunge, front knee is bent over the heel. Breathe as you reach out for your crown. Maybe moving the left hand more towards the midline of the mat. Whatever feels balanceable for you. Balanceable. I think I might have made that word up. And open the right to the sky. Breathe. Focus your mind. Good. Back down. Briefly through down dog. Briefly through plank. Briefly through up dog. And push it all the way back. Let's walk the legs forward. Any amount. Inhale, come all the way up. Hands to your heart. Beautiful. Stretch your left hand straight out, send your right arm straight back, look over it. Inhale, bring your hands to your heart. Right hand straight forward, left hand straight back. And back to center. Send the left arm up. Touch your ear. And then push out across. Inhale all the way back, heart center. Inhale, right arm up. Touch your ear. And then push across. All the way back. Left arm out. Touch your ear. Extend across, over the top. Back to heart center. Right arm, up. Touch the ear. Press across. Back to heart center. Good. Look up. Touch your thumbs on your collarbones. Look up to open your throat and start to lift your heels. Pressing down through the toes and the ball of your feet. Trying to balance gently. Your point of focus is a spot on the ceiling. Just gently hovering the heels. Good. Heels down. Exhale, bow forward, touch the blocks, high sage. Plant your left foot, inhale, lift your right leg up high to the sky. Keep the hips square for a moment, and then try to roll the hip open. Square the hip again. And drop it back. Both legs straight, or straightening. Bow over your leg in pyramid pose. Back to forward fold. Inhale, lift your left leg straight up, hips are square. And then roll it open. Back to square. Mindfully drop it back into pyramid pose, bowing over the front leg. Feel that the feet are secure on the mat. And then step forward to forward bend. Bend your knees, inhale, swoop it up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Lift your chin up high. Try to stare at the ceiling, wherever it feels comfortable to you. And gently hover the heels again. Relaxing your spine as you open it up to the sky. You're going to look further and further back. Breathe the muscles of the front body. Let the back muscles become strong and toned. And if the heels want to go down and go a little deeper, that's okay. Don't strain, don't struggle to speak. You can talk. You can talk while you do these poses. Exhale, bow all the way down. Inhale, look forward. And then step back to a hovering knees. So you're hovering your knees about 2 inches off the ground. Push down with your hands firm. Engage the core. Stay with me. Knees should be under the hips. Good. Let the knees come to the earth. And sit your hips back, toes tucked, so you're stretching the sole of the foot. Sit the hips back and arch the spine, kind of melt your spine into the back, opening the front body, opening the gaze to the sky. Good. Come down onto your forearms, palms turned up. Bring the shoulders over the elbows if they're not already, and walk the knees back. You can go further back or lift the knees off the ground, or just stay where you are and breathe. Anchoring down, keeping the spine elongated, not rounded, yet the front core is engaged, stable. Center your mind on just being with the body sensation. And drop the pelvis into the floor, Sphinx pose. Squeezing the back muscles toward the spine. Good. This might not work for your body, so be mindful. You're going to take your blocks and you're going to put them wide, like on the where you're, like opposite your ears. And what you're going to do is you're going to rest your elbows on the blocks and then put your hands on the back of your head. So if this hurts your shoulder, don't use the blocks. If it still hurts your shoulder, put your hands out and your elbows lower. Don't interlock them behind your head. So everyone has something they can be doing. Now, in this shape, draw your shoulder blades away from your ears and then towards each other. Now, press your head up, maybe against your hands if they're there, and use only your back strength to lift your head and arms off the ground. Relax. Repeat the exercise. Press. Breathe. And relax. One more time. Building your posture from the core, from the inside, from the spine. Good, keep that lift. Bring your hands under your shoulders, tuck your toes, maybe do a full push-up, back up to the sky. And then let's meet in downward dog. And then let's walk our legs forward. Or shift the weight into your feet. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Good. Take your hands and find the base of your ribs. Like here's the soft tissue of your where your midline is, your waist. And if you go up, you'll start to find the base floating ribs about this high. And bring your thumbs around so they're at the same height, but they're on your back. That's about where your kidneys are. About where your kidneys are. And if we do like a cat-cow thing, we can drop our chin, open the kidneys back. But this is a very dormant posture. If we're sitting too much, the core gets weak. And these muscles get elongated and they don't tone and protect our back. Major source of back pain. And so when we're upright, those muscles, right where your thumbs are, those muscles want to come in and help elongate the front of your body. And we want to do that in such a way where it doesn't look like we're just arching our back. Like that becomes the feeling of upright. So work on that area and then release your hand and try to just stand like you're a bigger person. Yeah. Feel how those muscles can tone and wrap into the body. Bend your knees, chair pose, keep those muscles wrapping in. A long line of energy. You're going to step back with your right leg into warrior two. Don't lose the tone of your back body. breathe. Good. Swoop the backhand down and forward. Square your hips, warrior one. Open the arms up and back, using that mid-back muscle like a shelf to perch your ribs and shoulders and neck upon. Yeah, great job, great posture. Look how bright and full. Wonderful work. Step forward into chair pose, hands in front of your heart. Good job. Keep those muscles toning. They're strong muscles. They're meant to keep you upright. That's their purpose. Now, if they get long, now they start to get worn, they wear, they get fatigued, and they get hard. They're called locked long. Keep them in their tone where they're supple and engaged. Let's step the left leg back, open up, warrior two. Keep those muscles firing. You can just see how seated culture, like undoes this uprightness. Swoop the backhand under and through. Close the stance in the hips and lift your hands up together in front. Warrior one. Creating that shelf of stability through your mid-back. Step into chair and release the pose into mountain. Good. Breathe here, a few deep breaths. Take your thumbs, find that spot in the mid-back. Gently, you can like massage them a little bit. Just bring them in and up. Try to feel how the back body can wrap back and in and up off of that. And you feel upright. It's not just a back bend. It's not really a back bend yet. You can back bend. You can exaggerate it. But it's just standing full, standing tall in yourself. Feel kind of weird in our everyday culture to be this, to stand this tall. Good. Keep that sensation, release the hands. Let's do that whole sequence again. Bend the knees, chair pose. Those muscles wrapping in. Slowly keep that postural engagement. Right leg back, warrior two. Let everything else be light. Your stance is long, your arms are long, but they're not efforting. All the strength is in just keeping that deep, deep core structure around your spine. Strong and full. That's where your focus is. Everything else just kind of flows out of it. There's like almost like a regalness to it, an elegance to it. You know, the core is so strong. Swoop the backhand forward and through, squaring the back leg and hip, warrior one. Breathe here as you open across the chest and rise up through the spine, perching your upper body on that shelf in the mid-back. Step to chair pose. Breathe here. Shift your weight. Step the left leg back. Warrior two. Our back muscles are not tiring. This is just what upright feels like. Swoop the back arm forward, square the hips and leg, warrior one. Inner lift, inner brightness. You should have more mobility when these muscles are engaged. Step to chair. Release the palms, open. Start to look up, slow. High as you can look. You want to hover the heels just a little bit. So keep looking up. Don't strain your neck, should be relaxed. Inhale back up. Bend your knees. Touch the floor with your hands or the blocks with your hands. And let the knees start to go wide, like you're moving towards squat pose. Knees go wide, feet stay where they are. Open the hips here. Breathe in your squat. Good. Walk the legs back a little bit. We're going to do that same hover knee like we did earlier. Hover knee tabletop. About 2 inches off the ground, engaging the core, pushing down firm with your arms. And then settle them into the earth. Let's all transition to the mat with our hands, not blocks. Keep the fingers close together. Keep the hands over your under your shoulders. You're going to back your knees up just a little bit. We're going to really work the shoulder joint now. Turn as you move into the pose. Turn the eyes of the elbow as you move your shoulders out over your fingers and hands. So the elbows start wide, and you turn the elbows back, or the eye of the elbow, the part that hinges, the eye of the elbow point towards each other. As you move forward, they point forward. This opens up the front of the shoulder. Let's just work that action and really now concentrate on pushing your shoulder blades, especially your outer shoulder. Push your outer shoulder down through your hands and be stable. Your arms are like pillars. Really good. Try to bring your body upright if you can. Good. Push down, tone your low belly muscles, and go back. Child's pose. All right, you have 2 options now. The easier option is to keep your hips behind your knees and just widen your knees a lot more. So it's like just a wide-legged child's pose. Okay? Everyone's going to kind of start there, and you'll keep your toes tucked. Some of you are going to separate your feet a little bit, and the next one's called frog. So with your knees separated, you're going to bring your hips over or forward. You bring your hips forward, so it's a little more intense. It's actually a lot more intense on your inner thighs. Make sure your knees are happy. Make sure your groin is happy as you put some weight into your forearms. And you can widen those knees more, but be careful. You want to make sure the muscles are stable. Just listen to your body, you'll be okay. Go ahead and slowly walk our way back with our arms, releasing the pose back into a child's shape. Breathe here, just rest a moment. Close your eyes and concentrate inward on the feeling of your mind. Bring the legs closer together, even get the knees to touch. Maybe the ankles, toes will touch and sit back a little further. Doing the opposite kind of child's pose. Now we're doing a very close child's pose. And from here, bring your hands back and you're going to push so that your knees lift up and you end up in a squat pose near the back of your mat. And then rise up to standing. Rise up to standing. Step 1 foot forward so you're on a wide-legged posture on your mat. Anchor down through your feet. Once again, find that mid-back area, the kidneys, and work on the action that we talked about a moment ago. It's gentle, it does not take a lot of force. You're just sort of breaking the sitting habit, the collapsed. It's an inner collapsing of the myofascia. We let the backrest do the work. Now we're undoing the backrest from our postural habit, brightening up our core. Good. Bend the knees. And then hinge at the hips. Placing the hands on the floor on blocks. The legs toned and engaged. Put the left hand down under your nose, and then inhale, bring your right shoulder up to the sky. Put the right hand on under your nose, bring the left shoulder up to the sky. Bring both hands back down, and walk your hands over towards your right foot. Bend your right knee, you can lift your left toes. Good, reverse it, walk your hands over to the other side, bend your left knee, and lift your right toes. Walk it back to center. Stabilize as you forward fold. Stabilize through your legs. Stretch forward. Shift your weight into your feet. And then rise up. Good. Come back to the front of your mat. Spend a moment doing a little bit of balance. We're going to really focus on just balancing today. So I encourage you not to use the wall today. To not use the wall today. And just choose your balancing posture. You're going to start with this long, flowing, elegant stance, yet the core is very strong and upright, like a fern stem that is fully outstretched. Bringing that kidney area in and up, all the back muscles in and up. Palms will turn out so the arms are in a capital A shape. And you'll just start by shifting your weight into your right foot and lifting your left heel. So on my toenail, my left toenail is still on the floor. If you can do this, good. This may be where you practice today. The next step is to then bring the foot against the ankle. And if the toe needs to touch, it's right there. You shouldn't come out of the pose. You should just touch the toe. So no one should be falling out of this pose. You can just touch the toe on the ground. Otherwise, the foot is against the leg. And if this is very sustainable for you, and how do you know it's sustainable? Because your inner core is upright. If you start to cower and collapse, you should go back a stage and work there. Work on being firm here. And if you want to go further, you're just going to slide the inner foot up the inner leg any amount without losing your inner upliftment. If you feel a wobble, you go down to recapture your balance. Challenge yourself, but don't exceed your capacity. Good. Let's place that foot down. Plant through the left foot. Work the inner alignment, your inner posture. Challenge yourself, but do not exceed your capacity. This round, some of you are already doing tree pose. That's great. For this round, I'm actually keeping my knee straight ahead. So we'll do another round where you'll then do the knee straight ahead if you get the knee wide. And we'll come back down. And so this time, if your knee was ahead, you'll do the same exact thing. Your knee's just turned out. If your knee was turned out, I invite you to consider just the straight in front variant. Same thing, where on the right leg is planted, and you slide the heel up any amount with the knee kicking out. Don't use your hands. Use your hands actually to engage the upper back muscles. The elongated elbow, the extended arm should tone your upper back to help keep your posture. And release. Last round. Planting the left foot. You can just stay with the toe on the ground the whole time and work on that posture. Either way, you're working on that inner upliftment. And release. Very good. Start to come back down to the mat. Step the knees back. Sit on blocks or sit between your heels. We keep that inner upliftment, but we relax our outer shape. In the core, you still have that space. You still have that stability through your spine. But your shoulders and even your head is a little bit relaxed and forward. Turn your palms up and rest them in your lap. Breathe slow. Try to just calm your system now as you wind down. Slowly come forward and lie on your belly, sending your legs back. Bend your left knee and hold your foot with your hand. And pull on the foot a little bit, stretching your quad. Change legs. Release. If you can hold both feet at the same time, if you can't, just do each side again once. And gently kick your feet into your hands. You can lift your head off the ground if you'd like, or just keep it on the ground. Tone your back muscles. And release. Push up, push back, bring your knees forward. Cross your ankles and let's lie on our backs with our heads at the back of our mat. Bring both knees into your chest for a moment. Outstretch your legs and imagine that your feet were pressing on an imaginary wall. If you have a wall, you could use it if you wanted to. But just imagining that your feet were pressing on a wall and tone your kneecap, like straight, so you straighten your leg. Kind of peel the toes back. As you do this, you should feel it engage your upper back. If not, remember what we did earlier in class where you do the T-Rex or the jetpack arms. Elbows near the ribs. Push the elbows and shoulders down. So now your legs are toned and your arms are toned. Pressing the elbows and shoulders down to the earth. This should float your spine a little bit off the ground. But your hips and your skull are kind of anchored actually, anchored into the floor. And then relax the effort. Try it again and breathe deeply. Tone the legs, tone the arms, pressing, focusing your mind on the little details to help open your skeleton, to help stabilize your back muscles, to support your posture. Relax it all. Last round, toning, building your posture from the inside, using the legs and the arms to stabilize from the outside. And relax down. Bend your knees so your feet are flat on the floor. Press up one time into a bridge pose. And come down. Drop your knees to the right. Drop your knees to the left.
Inhale back to center. Slide the legs out on the mat. Give your legs and arms ample space to feel free. And rest your body. Stretch your body. Press up to a comfortable seat. Namaste.